So in today's tutorial, we are going to design a hollow clock like that. This is a simple shape. So we are going to make this one. So go to Blender and this is the default scene. I am going to delete the light. So delete it because we are going to use the HDRI. So here for the default cube, I am also going to press X to delete it. And here press Shift A and we are going to add a cylinder. And we are going to rotate it around this x-axis. So R to rotate and then type X. We are going to rotate it around the x-axis and type 90. So we will have the cylinder like that. And then I am going to press S to scale it. Sorry, S to scale it and scale it in Y direction. Press Y and make it like that. Then we are going to zoom. Use the wheel on your mouse and select this one, Control A to apply the scale and then tab to go to the edit mode. And here we are going to select face mode. So press 3 on your keyboard or go here and select the face selection mode. Select this face, press shift and rotate the model and press shift and select this face. So for these two faces I am going to use the eye to insert and make another circular loop. So it will cut this face and make it shape like that. Okay, now I am going to delete these two faces, S, and we are going to delete the faces. So press S to show this option, delete these faces, and then press 2. So you are in the edge selection mode, and I am going to press Alt and select this edge, this loop of the edges, then Shift and click here to select this loop of the edges. Then I am going to right click and bridge edge loops. So we will have the shape like that. Then again, when these faces are selected, I am going to use Control or add the edge loops like that, and I am going to make it 2 and place it, and then right click, place it its in original position. So here I am going to press S to scale and we want to scale it in Y direction, then press Y. So then drag it like that to make it the shape like that. Okay, then select here. Now I am going to select all of the loops, face loops of these edges, then press 3. So you are in the face selection, then Alt and click here to select this complete loop. So make sure you click here on this horizontal, near to this horizontal edge, so it will select this complete loop. Then I am going to press Alt and E. So we have the extrude menu, and here I am going to use the face extrude faces along the normals and move it in the below direction like that and place it at this position. So we have this shape, and here I am going to press tab to go to the object mode and shade smooth it, and here I am going to select auto smooth. Go to modifier and we are going to add a bevel modifier to add the edges. So 0.05 will be good, or 0.005 like that. And here again I am going to press shift A and we are going to add a circle here. We can also add a cylinder and press to scale it. And now that for that cylinder we are going to rotate it around the x-axis. So R to rotate, then press X and here type 90. So we have this cylinder in that position. Here I am going to apply the Control A to apply the scale and shade smooth it, auto smooth, and select this cylinder and press tab. You can also change the name in outliner for your reference. So for this one I am going to select this face. Basically I am going to scale it again. Press tab to go to the object mode, S to scale and scale it in Y direction. Press Y. So it will scale it like that at this position. And now Control A to apply the scale and press tab to go to the edit mode and make sure this face and press shift to select this face, and I'm going to press I to insert. So at this position we are good, so both faces are inset. So we use this command And now I want to extrude this face. So select this face, make sure you're in the face selection, E to extrude it and extrude it in that direction. And extrude it at this position, and here we can see we extruded this face and move it in the Z. Z is showing here 0.04. So I am going to type 0.05 and now select this face and E to extrude it and place it that position, and here change this value to the same value 0.05. Okay, and now press tab to go to the object mode, and here at this position I am going to add a circle. So shift A, mesh, and we are going to add a mesh circle. So now the circle is lying on this plane, or to rotate and rotate it around the x-axis. So press X and we want to rotate it 90 degree, and then S to scale it and make sure it's aligned with this smaller circle like that. And here we can move it in the y direction. So G to move and in the y direction and place it here at this position. And again, see the dimension. So you can also scale it, make it little smaller than this circle, this bigger circle, like that. Okay, now control A to apply the scale. It is a good habit. Always apply the scale so it will not affect the modifiers when you apply it or use the other feature. Okay, now when this circle is selected, press tab to go to the edit mode, and here we are going to extrude this circle in this direction. So when these edges or vertices are selected for this circle, I am going to press E to, sorry, so select all the edge loops, alt, and select all of the edge loops, and here I am going to use E to extrude it and make sure you type Y, so it's extruding it in the Y direction, and place it at this position. Now I am going to select this edges again, alt, and select all of these edges and F to fill it, and tab to go to the object mode, and I am going to type G and Y to move it in the Y direction and place it at this position, and control A, apply all transformation. Again go to the uh, edit mode by pressing the tab, and here I am going to select these faces. So you can see you have to select the faces in the according to this Y axis. So press 3, so you are in the face selection mode. I am going to type 1 and see we selected this face which is lying above this Y axis. So because we have to keep the symmetry, and press shift, select these faces, it's in the middle, shift Z, so you can see the faces are in the symmetry in the wireframe. Okay, so two in this side, two in this side, we are good, our selection is correct. And shift Z to go to the solid view, and I am going to press shift D to duplicate these faces, and then right click to place it in its initial position, so they are placed. And now I am going to type E to extrude it and extrude it in that direction, and at that point I am going to see, so you can see these faces, rotate the model. You can see I am using the middle mouse button to rotate it, so you can see these are not flat. So to make it flat on the plane, I am going to type S to scale it, and we are going to make it flat perpendicular to the Z axis, then press Z and 0. So now you can see these are flat. Okay, at this, if you reach at this point, and you can subscribe my channel and like the video, and now press 2 so you are in the right selection mode. Press shift to select all of these edges one by one, or you can also type press alt and select this one edge, so it will select these edges. Okay, and control B to bevel it and make a bevel like that. So this sharp edge will convert it to a round edge, and then move your wheel on your mouse at the edges, more edges or okay. At this position we are good. Now for this for the hollow clock, this one clock is basically attached with this ring which is attached with the gear. So press 1 and shift Z, so you are in the wireframe mode. So you can select all of the vertices, then box select, left click to select box selection and select all of these vertices. Then G and move it in the Z direction. So it's just going uh, below this edge. So we cannot see it. And shift Z and G and Z, move it little bit above. So basically these are not touching this bottom. Okay. And now let's tab to go to the object mode. So here we have basically one needle of the clock. We also needed the other this one on the other side. So shift D to duplicate it, then place it in its initial position by pressing the your right mouse button, and I am going to type G to move it and then Y to move it in the Y direction. And here we have this other needle. Now I am going to rotate it, so R to rotate it, and we want to rotate it around the Z axis. And how much we want to rotate it? Basically, we want to rotate it 180 degree. So we have this in the opposite direction. Then G to move it and move it in Y direction. Press Y and place it at this position. So basically, we have two needles. Then I'm going to press tab. So we are in the edit mode, and the length of this needle we have to make it smaller. Then press shift Z, so you are in the wireframe, and type 1 and box select all of these vertices. By left clicking it will activate this box and select the all of these vertices. Then G to move it and move it in the Y direction, sorry, in the Z direction, move it above Z and place it like that, and shift Z, so you can see this needle is smaller. Tab to go to the object mode. Now basically we have two needles, and I'm going to select this needle and R to rotate, and we want to rotate it around the Y axis to make it like that. So this will make sense. Okay, now I am going to select this one and press tab to go to the edit mode, and here we have to add a support here. So again with this reference we have to select the faces. So shift to select this, press 3, so you are in the face selection, this face, this face, this face, this face, these four faces, and make sure you are selecting the equal faces on each side with the reference of this axis, this y axis, and again one another and other on side. So basically 3 on this side and 3 on this side with the reference of this y. Okay, then shift D to duplicate it, and then right click to place it in its initial position. And here I'm going to use E to extrude it, and make sure you are extruding it in the Z direction and make it like that at this position. And now this is a circular surface. It is not flat, we want to make it flat, and as to scale it, and we want to make it flat perpendicular to the z axis. Then as to scale, then Z and then 0, so this will become flat perpendicular to the z axis. Okay, so we have this shape like that. Then I am going to select this face, this face, this face, this face, this face, all of these faces, and E to extrude it little bit smaller value like that. And same way select these and E to extrude it a smaller value like that. Okay, so now our clock is ready. Only thing is left, we have to place some text. So shift A, and here I am going to type the text, and now you can see our text is lying that, and we want to rotate it around this x-axis. So R to rotate, and around the x-axis press X and then 90. So we have our text like that. And then uh, press tab to go to the edit mode, and here I am going to type 12 and 1. So you have in the front view, and here I am going to press G and X to move it G and X and move it around the X axis, then S to scale like that, then G and place it at this position. So we have our text here and we want to basically move it on this face. So activate this face snap, activate it, and then we want to snap it around on the face. So select this well, G to move, and then move it in the y direction. So at this face, we want to snap it. Okay. And you can make it smaller than G and Z. Basically, move it here at this position. And we can also give this text a thickness. How much select it here the data object data properties, go to geometry, and here under the bevel we can give it a depth. This value is good. Then select this one, press 1 and shift D to copy it, and 1 we are going to place it at this position. Shift D to copy it and place it at this position. Shift D to copy it and place it at this position. So G to make it like that. So select this one, press tab to go to the edit mode and edit it. And for this one, we are going to make it 3 and then press tab to go to the object mode and G to move it and place it at this position is good, I think. Yeah, select this one, press tab, go to edit mode, backspace, and here we have 6. And then tab to go to the object mode and select this one, press tab to go to the edit mode, backspace, and then here we have 9. And tab to go to the object mode. For this one, we are going to place it here. For this one, G to move it and place it here at this position, and G to move it and move it little bit above. We can also make this one as smaller, and G and place it at this position. So basically scale all of these and G. So these are between these two circular faces, and also G as to scale it and G to move it, as to scale it, G to move it like that. So here we have our clock. Now for the for the animation, if we want to animate this one for the real world, for a clock, if clock is moving clockwise for the 60 minutes, this needle has to move 360 degrees. And for this hour uh, needle, if this one move 360 degree, this one it will move 1 degree. I'm talking about this minute needle. If this is a minute needle, it will move 360 degrees, and this needle will only move 1 degree. So for the actual animation of 1 hour, basically we needed, and so this timeline, under the timeline, if you can see here on the output properties, we have frame rate of 24 fps. So for 24 frames, it will only make the animation of 1 second. So to make it the animation where this hover needle is also moving, we needed basically a lot of frames. So basically to move this one for 1 hour uh, it's moving like 30 degree. So from 6 to 7 it will move 30 degree like that. So for this needle, if select this needle, go to the object data properties, and here we have to rotate the y. So for this one I am going to place it, so let me type 0. So for 0 it's starting here. For 12 we needed 180 degree. So at this position it's moved So frame one, I am going to insert a keyframe. So press this little button. So it will add a keyframe here for this one. And then for the 60 frame, let's assume here we are moving it for 60 seconds. So we have to add 180 plus 360 and add a keyframe. So from frame 1 to frame 60, it will make a complete 360-degree travel. And this one, if we want to see, so from frame 1 to frame 60, this will move only 1 degree. So from point 1, if we are going to keyframe it, and from till 60, it will move only 1 degree. So when you are making this animation, make sure the rotation is clockwise for you. If it's not, you have to the minus for this y value. Okay. So to make a real world animation for 1 hour, we needed 60 multiplied by 24 frames to make a this animation for 1 minute. So here it's good, just add the scene. So I am going to use the HDRI. So go to the world properties, and here under the color I am going to select the environment texture, open it, and you can download the HDRs from Polyhammon. And for me, I downloaded these from the Polyhammon. I am going to use this HDRI. And for the color, so I am going to move this one, place it like that, and at this position, yeah, at this position, I am going to, if I want to render this one in my camera, I am going to press Control Alt and 0. So it will fix the camera here, and we can at this position, Control Alt 0 and press N, go to view and camera to view, and I'm going to change it, place it like that, select this camera G, and like that, like that is good. Okay, then I'm going to press go here, right click and vertical split. So we have that, and here I am going to select the image editor for the editor type and add a image. So for the color, I am going to use this one. So basically, to make the color, I'm going to select the render engine cycles, and here press Z. So you go to the render like that, and under the output properties, I am going to render engine and crop to render. So we only going to render this view. I am going to type N, so hide this one. Control B to select the area of your render. So now it will only render this one. Okay, so I am going to select this one. The structure of the hollow clock, press new, and to add a new material, and here go to base color, expand it, and here select this one eyedropper, and for this one I am going to add this color, so it will make this color. Okay, so for this needle, the one needle, I am going to type new material, and for this one I am going to select this here, and for the other needle, add a new material. I am going to basically select this material, and single space, I'm going to select it, add new material, black. So I'm going to join this area, moving my camera. Okay, so we did a mistake. This is the correct position. Just this view, control alt 0. Okay, so now we can also add the material for this text. So I am going to make them black. So if you watch this video at this point, you can subscribe channel, and if you like it, comment it. If you don't like, comment it to give me advice so I can make this tutorial more easy for you. Okay, now go to render and we can see the render. So it's looking good for me, and you can also render it. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial.